morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at the first Cinderace card that we've ever had. Cinderace, of course, being the full evolution of Score Bunny. And I do apologise, as I said in my previous video, we're almost 2 weeks out from the release of the game, and we have reached the point now where with cards being released with the Pokemon, I'm afraid we do now need to go through. We've been spoiler free up till now. My apologies, I'm hoping you've already seen them somewhere. They have been out in the wild. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen, fingers crossed. So Cinderace then. Well, our translation comes from the lovely 2new1223. He's been helping us out a lot with these new cards. And what we see as a little bit of a starter is 170 HP. And 170 HP, right? That's a lot of HP. That's quite a lot of HP, ladies and gentlemen. That is very high. Higher than your average stage 2. We expect, look at something like Empoleon coming around with 160, 170. We like it. That's very, very high. But it needs to have some good attacks as well, or it is all for naught. So what do we got? Well, we do have a weakness to water, which is honestly fine at the moment. There are a few Quagsire decks running around, and people do like playing Keldeo, but water isn't a huge thing at the moment, so I think we'll be alright for the time being. And the fact of the matter is, right, we're a fire Pokemon. And fire Pokemon at the moment just have all of the advantages. Chief among them, Welder. Attach 2 fire energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, draw 3 cards. Welder is absolutely, unquestionably, inarguably, flat out phenomenal. Then you've got Giant Half to search out your fire energy, or Fiery Flint to search out your fire energy. Or maybe even a bit of the old Fire Crystal to get your energy for the discard. Heat Factory Prism Star to draw a few extra cards. It is a great time to be a fire Pokemon. You're hitting weakness against grass Pokemon and against metal, though with the exception of the odd Lucario and Melmetal that tend to be playing Metal Frying Pan anyway, we're unfortunately not seeing a huge amount of either of those running around. And as for the retreat cost, we have a retreat cost of 1, which means free retreat with U-turn board, which makes us rather happy indeed. Speaking of which, we have low energy attacks and pretty good attacks. According to the lovely Tunu, for 1 fire energy, you do 50 damage plus burn. Cool. And don't forget that the burn rules changed a little while ago, so now you do 20 damage for burn and flip a coin. If heads, you're no longer burned, but the 20 damage sticks in anyway. Now, we can actually take that a little bit further. Well, Volcano Park says that if you flip a coin for burn between turns, it's not healed even if you flip heads. And we have 2 different flavours of Infernape, both of which will put burn from 2 damage counters up to 6. Having said that, it's another stage 2. Now, maybe if you go for a Chandelure deck, which has been shown to work here and there, although not the most reliable of them. But if you do go Chandelure, then the good news is you will be able to potentially play Cinderace with Infernape, but I think outside of that, you're probably not going to be able to. But 50 plus burn is essentially 70. Generally speaking, if you're not doing 70, something's gone drastically wrong. Which means that you're getting things like Inkay, but you're also getting the slightly beefier basics like Poipole that are coming in with 70 HP. Really good for taking down your basics. Evolved Pokemon, bigger basics, if you're hitting for weakness. So, something like Solgaleo Prism Star that used to be really good, though has dropped off quite a bit. That's coming in with 160. Yeah, you're actually still a little bit short of that as well. Because the thing is, you're not doing 70 and then doubling it for weakness. You're doing 50, doubling it for weakness, and then adding burn. So you're not doing 140 to Pokemon that are weak. You're actually doing 120. 50, doubled for weakness is 100, adding the burn is 120. That's still a decent amount of damage. But if we take something like, the Buzzwole from Cosmic Eclipse, the one that came out as a pre-release promo as well, then it's sitting there rocking 130 and will actually just survive. And I'm not saying that's the best Buzzwole we've ever seen or even the best card, but, It's out there, ladies and gentlemen. It's out there. But this is a starter attack, right? This is the I've got one energy on and I like special conditions, and, you know, if you think your opponent's not going to be able to get out the active for a little while and you can try and keep the burn on there, this is when that comes in really well and does so well. It's a decent little attack, but it's not the main reason to play. The main reason to play is the second attack here, that for 2 fire energy does 160, and you discard all the energy attached to this Pokemon. Now that's very important. If we were only discarding 2 energy, then you could potentially stack energy on there, and then discard 2, and then do it again next turn. But it is discarding all the energy. But remember that Welder card I told you about? This is like a Welder fever dream. Because the beautiful thing here is that you're actually not even using your attachment for the turn. You're just using Welder. You use Welder, you attach 2 energy to Cinderace. You draw 3 cards, but you've still got your attachment for the turn to put elsewhere. To put it another way, in 2 turns, you can get 3 Cinderace fully powered up. That's kind of phenomenal. You can just be using Welder on your active Cinderace every turn while attaching energy to a bench Pokemon. It really is quite phenomenal. And 160 for 2 energy, right? That's really good. Now, the sad thing is you're actually falling a little bit short of a lot of the numbers that you need to hit here. Now, in terms of non-GXs, you're fine. The vast majority of non-GXs are going down rather easily. I mean, if we look at the kind of non-GXs that are seeing play at the moment, everyone loves a bit of the old Alolan Ninetales. Well, Alolan Ninetales got 110 HP, so you're miles over that. I even showed you the other day that the new Empoleon from Cosmic Eclipse is seeing a little bit of play and might be seeing a little bit of love as we go along. And even that Empoleon, right, 160 is about what we see on Stage 2s. So you're getting an easy one-hit KO on that. If you're hitting for weakness, you're similarly absolutely fine. If we take something like Lucario and Melmetal, assuming they haven't turned off their weakness, or Pheromosa and Buzzwole, they are going down very, very easily. Even if Lucario and Melmetal has done that thing where they've used their GX attacks and are taking 30 less from attacks, they've essentially got 290 HP, but you're doing 230. So let's say they've got a Metal Goggles on there as well, you're still getting a one-hit KO to take the free prizes. The difficulty you run into in terms of the damage here is when you're against a Pokemon that is a GX or a tag team and you're not hitting for weakness. But you're still getting a very good, very easy, very reliable 2-hit KO. There's nothing you're not 2-hit KOing here. You know, even your biggest, baddest boys along the lines of Magikarp and Wailord, well, they've got 300 HP. You're doing 320 over 2 turns. Now, maybe they're playing stuff like mixed herbs and they're going around healing, and that will thwart your plan somewhat, but it's still a nice amount of damage. The only real downside here is that it's a Stage 2. Now, we are getting some good new Pokemon search options in Sword and Shield and in these V-Decks. That is nice, that is good, that is handy, we like it. However, it is still a Stage 2, and Stage 2s are inherently a little bit less reliable, a little bit less consistent. But you have everything else going for you. You've got pretty decent HP. You've got a single retreat cost. You've got attacks which are very easily paid in a single turn, and you're doing a decent amount of damage. Certainly in a fight against non-GX decks, this should give you a rather big advantage, because you're sitting there getting one-hit KOs on them for what is essentially a single energy attachment, and they're going to be struggling to do the same to you. There is so much to like about this card, just so long as you're cool with it being a Stage 2. And we've got things like Green's Exploration, we've got things like the second Alolan Ninetales GX, which have been used quite nicely to get Stage 2s out, and the biggest issue with Stage 2s has been a lack of good Pokemon search, but as I've said, we're fixing that rather nicely as well. I like it. I'm giving it 4 War Season. I think this is another one that I'm overrating. It feels high, but high HP, low retreat, quite good damage, low energy cost. If you can stream this as a Stage 2 Pokemon, and it is a fairly big if, you are going to have a very, very nice deck on your hands indeed. Or maybe there's just too many other good fire Pokemon that will play instead of it. I still like it. But I'd like to know what you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.